Welcome to episode 3 of BarSupials. Today we're going to get into a direct battle and a classic battle and talk a bit about how that went. So before we really get into it, we're going to show a little bit of some clips from the first round of each of the battlers, and this is Illmaculate versus Bigg K.
Are you doing that live? Oh, nasty. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Well, I'm done my thing. Do you have anything else to add?
No. Nope.
All right. So we'll let people watch those clips and come back and start talking about the battle.
Let's go. I said, yo, I did your man 90 real fucking dirty. That's why you set this up like this. You handpick your opponents, pre-write all that tough guy shit, and that's cool. But what happened to that footage out Portland? Somebody cut my shit. Before the third round, I told that whole room, him included, to suck my dick. True story. I was in your city showing no respect. In the crowd spilling Henny, giving shoulder checks. I would have stretched your whole hood like a cobra neck, punched your fucking face in half, and headlock it to the bones connect. See? I said, look, I will quick slice your windpipe with a straight razor. You act tough when you rap stuff, play gangster, but you really pussy, that's fake heart pacemaker. You come from a nice crib in the burbs with a gay neighbor. I was running through the fire and rain like James Taylor. Chain slangers, chain yankers, and gangbangers. Fuck a vet, I'm in this spot for my rep, weight training. And I ain't come here to out-rap you, just disrespect. So go ahead and spit that nerd shit for all these nerds so I can get my check.
That shit was good. Let me get my mic up. Look, that shit was good, but what everybody's thinking is that outfit is flavorful and bright. Right now, everybody's wondering how bumblebees are capable of flight. Look, one thing I don't want to hear in this ring is, I'm fucking up. Go ahead, man. Dog, that's like showing up to a fight and right before you swing being like, I'm fucking up. Go ahead. Trick that might help you choke less, fam. Imagine a strap on your temple like an old headband. Soon as you forget your shit, then that chrome lead blam. Would you show up to a shootout, forget the clip, and be like, I'm fucking up. Go ahead, man.
All right, so that was just a very little clip from that classic battle, and we're hoping, well, I'm hoping that that'll inspire you to go over to, or go to that battle and watch the whole thing, because it's a fire battle from bumper to bumper, so enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a dope battle. I guess that's why we're going to recap that mug, right?
Yep.
So what bars did you play there?
I just played a couple bars from Illmac and Bigg K from their first round.
Yeah. What bars were they?
I can't remember right off the top of my head,
Okay.
but it was Bigg K's intro, his starting, which he just right off the bat came with fire, and then and then another smaller clip from the tail end of his first round, and then Illmac's freestyle right at the beginning of his round, and then a piece from later on in his round as well.
Okay, cool.
And so I guess when we were talking about going through doing reviews on battles, this was definitely one on the radar.
Came up, it's good to knock it out, get it out of the way. So right away, what is the score?
This, to me, is a interesting one to judge.
Come on, man. Come on.
All right. I'm going to run through it here. So first round for K and Illmac, like after K spit his round, you don't know how, like, what the fuck kind of round do you need to deal with that? Because he came with a hot first round. And I think Illmac came with the round necessary to like just be like, okay, we have a battle here. This is we're going good. So for the round one, to me it's a tie. I don't give to either one. Round two, for me, K came with some fire shit. The introduction to his round about you act like you're on some mafia tip, but you're on your when you're on your own, you're in some turbo Wi-Fi chip. All of that was so funny, like making fun of him for being a nerd or whatever. K's second round was fire. Illmac's second round, to me, there was some good lines in it, but wasn't a well constructed round. It looked like pieces from here and there, whereas K came with pretty solid rounds. So that one I gave to K. Round two to K. Round three, I gave to Illmac for, I think, obvious reasons. K came with some fire, when he was saying, you're talking about my gun bars, well, I'll smack the shit out you. Like, that was funny. You're the size of DJ from Roseanne. There were some good bars from K, but Illmac, I don't think anyone could have come up against in his third round. First of all, he comes with a rebuttal against K, it rebuttals the Roseanne bar that K came with and did that. You look like Roseanne's husband. Now that's a Roseanne bar. And then with his whole matrix and time scheme and everything that came at the end, I think the third went to Illmac, and so I had to kind of give it to Illmac.
Okay. So from what I heard, you have the first round split dead even, but you couldn't decide.
Yeah.
Second round you gave to Bigg K.
Yeah.
And then the third round you gave to Illmac.
Yeah.
So the 1-1 with a split, but you gave it to because you felt that the third round was that impactful.
Illmac's third round is like that's a battle rap, one of the best rounds. Like that last scheme, you just woke up, or look to your left in organic, saying to the rapper to my left or whatever. Like that whole scheme is so crazy.
Yeah,
that I think it pulls the battle. Yeah. Classic battle.
Yeah. But you want me to run it down too?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so the first round. Okay, so let's give a little bit of a context here to what's going on here, because just even looking at Bigg K in this battle, the battle was, I think, 7 years ago, right? So even looking at Bigg K, he's a lot younger than he is now. He's got this full Viking going on compared to what even Illmac was talking about there. Like he was talking about, I think it was in the second round, he was talking about the way his beard was cut, you could tell separate between his neck and his beard and shit like that. He just like, his writing style is really good, right? So, and to the things that Illmac was talking about in terms of Bigg K choking all the time. If you notice that, he was harping on that, right? For the first and the second. He didn't even get on that in the third, but for the first and the second, he was definitely letting Bigg K know that he was known for being a choke artist. And I like that. I like that shit, right? Because at that time, Bigg K was known for choking. And he kind of did a pretty good scheme. I think it was in the second. You know what he's talking about? Okay. So let's start from the top here.
You're right. It was the second that he did have a good scheme about him choking. Yeah.
Okay, before I get into the rounds too, there's that with Bigg K being on the King of the Dot. there's that whole stigma of the URL rapper and the KOTD rapper, right? And if you noticed in the battle, you noticed that Illmac was playing up to that, right? He definitely was playing up to what it means to be this type of rapper versus that type of rapper. Even if it wasn't that clear cut and dry, as I just said, you could tell that that's what he was.
Yeah.
Right? So I found that interesting. It was kind of like to jump back into time, really. And it kind of reminded me of what it was like back then when URL and KOTD were kind of head to head and like,
these are different things that they like. Yeah, you can't put this is comedy versus hard bars or like whatever weird things people thought. Yeah.
You just have gun bars kind of thing, and then they bring, you know what I mean, like that kind of mentality and stuff.
It's funny because I can get where people come at with that, but at the same time, it's like the first battle I ever saw was a URL battle. So to me, it was never like, oh, URL is not funny. It's hard street bars and KOTD is funny guy bars or whatever. I never looked at it like that, but I get the vision of it anyway.
Okay, that's understandable. Okay, so let's go from the first round. Bigg K. The first thing that he said that he took his boy 90M out, I kind of like the way he said that. Then he said something about he'll take Illmac and lift him up to the ceiling fan and then drop him and put him on his grill or something. He just had some nice bars. It kind of reminds me of I like the fact. So for some context, I'm not a huge fan of Bigg K style, but the way that he uses that style, he's really good at using that style. I will say that, right? There's people who don't quite measure up to what it is that they're doing, but he definitely knows how to use his style. So he said that he was built like an 8th grader. He has fake heart like a pacemaker. Yeah. That was in the first round. I was like, okay. So, we have Mac going next, Illmac going next. He said something that I couldn't figure out. He rhymed plank with face. Anybody? Yeah. Yep. Anybody who wants to go check that out or take a look back at it, somehow he managed to rhyme plank. He said, "This for me, this is a walk in the park. For you, this is a walk on the plank." Something. And then he rhymed face. I was just like, I didn't get it. I was
shot in the face. Yeah.
I was always off since I first heard it, but I do admire those people who have the ability to make words rhyme that don't necessarily rhyme. Black Thought is a profession at that. Like, he's super good at that. So I can appreciate it, but at the same time, I was scratching my head. With that said, I gave the first round to Bigg K. Right? I gave the first round to Bigg K. So the second round, Bigg K starts off, and I kind of liked what he was doing. He said a couple, like, he has punchlines all over the place, but there was nothing really too much different to me than what Bigg K does. So I'm not going too crazy over what he's saying. Second round for Illmac, he's kind of doing like I was saying, he was talking about the smack rapper thing, right? And then he had some jokes in there, which I thought was cool. And then he ended off with the gun bar scheme.
Yeah.
Which is playing into the stereotype of Bigg K wanted to be a URL rapper. Type, or smack rapper type thing, which I thought was good showmanship, to be honest with you, right? Because that's Illmac coming with some gun bars on KOTD. You're expecting it, but you're not really expecting it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's cool that he at least came with it, right? So to me, that would be the one that was split. But to me, like I said, it's about a battle. It's a whole battle. So third round.
Yeah, at least in jail you can get through a sentence. Or you're forgetful with your writtens. At least in jail you can get through a sentence or whatever.
Is that the second round or the third round?
That was the second round. That was
my
second.
Yeah, get through a sentence, and that was in the beginning of the round. I thought that was just that was a shot, you know. It's like a big shot, you know. That's a shot on your ego and your pride and stuff like that, you know. I don't know if. I think if you look at the battle, he might have just looked at him kind of crazy. Bigg K might have looked at him kind of crazy when he said that, because that was a crazy line when you think about it. Crazy line. So, and then he ended with the gun talk kind of thing. And then I think Bigg K wasn't buying it. So Bigg K in the third went in, right? That's what he was talking about, him looking like DJ from Rose. Bilbo Baggins. He said he looked like Bilbo Baggins. Yo, Bigg K was killing me with that shit, man.
Yeah.
Then he said he was gonna catch a body like a swing dancer. I was like, oh my gosh, that's where, to me, Bigg K, like I said, like that style, I've definitely heard that style before, that punching style, but he's one of the best to do it. So I'm not gonna take nothing away from Bigg K.
He also did Illmac dirty on the on getting rid of Illmac's credentials and his past and stuff with the 2 rings. So it's like, yeah, you act like a legend, little man, but I don't give a fuck about your 2 rings, kind of thing.
About the 2, was that the third round or the second round?
I had that as the second round. The broken doorbell, 2 rings don't mean shit.
Yeah, the broken doorbell. I thought I had, yeah, I definitely remember that bar. That was crazy, actually. That was a crazy bar too. It's funny now looking back at Bigg K's work. I'm probably a little bit more appreciative knowing how far he's come. Initially, I was not a Bigg K fan. But as time goes on, you know what I mean? You get to look back and you can appreciate certain things. So I thought he had a pretty dope third round, but I knew that it was beatable. The way he ended it, for sure, it was beatable. So Illmac came in with the rebuttal, talking about he looks like Roseanne's husband.
Yeah.
And then
that's a Roseanne bar.
And to me, things just went downhill from there, right? Because then that's that veteranship that Illmac has there, right? What he did there, it's one of those things, it's a moment what he did there. And it's one of those things where it's kind of explainable. You know what I mean? He knew how to take his writing.
I had to make sure I was recording. We are, yeah. It just crossed my mind, sorry.
I'm just saying, right? He did something there that few people know how to take advantage of. So as I was saying before, you can win the first 2, to me, and still lose because your third wasn't off, or the third of the other person's was just that much better. You can lose the whole battle. So it doesn't make sense you coming in with, you got to come all 3 rounds. I'm trying to say, come in 2 and then take the last one off. Not like Bigg K took it off, right? I felt like I said, to me, that's the experience and the knowledge that Illmac has. Like, he knows if he's gonna battle somebody who's twice his size, who punches more than he does, different style, he knows he has to have some kind of trick up his sleeve, right? Or else he wouldn't take that battle. It's one thing I respect about that. But I actually like the way that Bigg K rapped more than Illmac, to be honest with you, throughout this whole battle. But I will give Illmac the battle, right? I'll give Illmac the battle 2-1 for sure. And the reason why we chose this battle, or we agreed to it, is because we know that Illmac has a legendary 30. Or sorry, not a 30, a legendary third round. So anybody out there, you if you want to see a legendary third round, you might want to check out Illmac versus Bigg K on King of the Dot. Shout out to those two, man, for giving us entertainment and Organic and Gully and Bishop and those guys for putting the stuff together. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
I couldn't add anything to that. Shall we
So
leave?
you got Illmac 2-1?
Yeah, I mean, and I think I have to say I judge things differently.
Not a body or nothing like that. Okay, so what do you have?
Yeah, it's not like I have it as the way because I can only scheme things the way my brain does it. The first round was just nulled each other. Second round, K. Third round, Illmac. That round, Bigg K.
Bigg K.
Yeah,
okay.
It was because you can't. Yeah, and but they also with that Illmac scheme, you could have done that to anybody, and you would have fucking destroyed them. That scheme came from years of looking at Organic and being on that stage and looking at the setup and the mental preparation for going into a battle. That scheme is like is crazy. Yeah.
That is what I call a legendary round. Didn't slip, didn't stumble. It was totally set up. You walked into that trap, executed perfectly. It didn't really matter what Bigg K was going to do there. And I think you got to kind of have that mentality of when you're battling. I like that kind of shit. You know what I mean? I like that kind of shit. That's the type of shit that Hollow does too. Hollow does that kind of shit. So does Lux. Lux does it also. Yeah. So, and Illmac has to go in that category.
Yeah. It's more than just rapping. It's more than battle rapping. It's more than writtens. It's an extra dynamic to it. It's a theater. It's yeah.
So good, man. It's you know, and it's it's very unique, and that is the main thing about it, right? Like, it's been around for a while. It's not like it's new or anything like that, but it still can retain its freshness and its, you know what I mean? It's
relevant.
It's one and only place in the world type of thing. So, like I said, shout out, man. Yo, I know, because this is not going to be the first Bigg K battle we're gonna review, or Illmac. So they did a good job here, but that doesn't mean they always do. So we're gonna, when you're up, we'll get you. When you're down, we'll get you too. So don't take anything personal. That's how that goes, right?
All right. Well, let's leave it there, and we'll see people next time with another battle.
Yeah.